Hey everyone, my name is Emaan Chaudry.
And my name is Danielle Solish, and today you're listening to the 30th episode of Seeing Clearly. Today we have a very special episode because our guest today is none other than the other person who is my co-host on this podcast, Emaan Chaudry. I'm going to start by introducing Emaan, even though I'm sure you guys have little snippets into who she is, and then we'll get right into it. So, Emaan grew up in Toronto and completed her undergraduate degree in bioinformatics at Virginia Commonwealth University. She then went on to complete her medical school degree at the University of Ottawa, where she is currently a PGY1 in her first year of ophthalmology residency at Ottawa. In her free time, she enjoys working out, playing squash, playing golf with her co-residents, and traveling with her friends and family. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Chaudry.
Thank you so much, Danielle. It seems super weird to be on this side of the episode, but glad to be here, I guess, on this side.
No, it's exciting to have you here because when we started, we were both medical students, and now you're on the other side and you're a PGY1 in ophthalmology, which is incredible. So it will be very valuable to our listeners to hear about your journey and celebrate our 30th episode. So I'll start off with our same question. Can you talk about your journey to ophthalmology?
Yeah, it's crazy to be answering this question, thinking that we've asked this question to 30 other people before, or even more, honestly.
Mhm.
Um, but my journey to ophthalmology, I think, began pretty early in medical school, actually. I came into medical school pretty open-minded. I didn't know what I was interested in or what I wanted to do. I kind of maybe had an interest in, I thought, emergency medicine, but I really didn't know. And so I went to all of the interest group meetings like most other medical students, really explored everything that was presented to us. And early in my first year, I went to a Dr. Mom event. So this was a panel of women in medicine speaking about how they balance their life outside of medicine as well as their career in medicine. And at this talk, I was really drawn to one speaker who just spoke so passionately about her work, but also about her life outside of medicine. And that physician just so happened to be Dr. Albrecht, one of the leaders behind iCurriculum as well. And so I went up to Dr. Albrecht after the panel and introduced myself and said that, I really enjoyed her talk and I would love to get to know her a little bit more, possibly shadow her. To my surprise, she was an ophthalmologist. And she was super happy to have me as an elective student. So I sent her assistant an email. And actually, before completing an elective with Dr. Albrecht, we sat down in her office and she got to know me a little bit better, asked me why I came to medical school, asked me what my goals during medical school were. And it was really just that interaction with Dr. Albrecht at her desk that made her not only, what was going to be a great mentor of mine, but just another human being that I could connect with. And I think that's what made my elective experience so incredible with her. Not only was I inspired by her as a person, but also by her work, the technology that she had in clinic, the rapport she was able to build with her patients. It all really, really fascinated me. And so after that was kind of when the COVID pandemic started. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to complete another elective with Dr. Albrecht, but I had reached out to her and told her that I was interested in at least seeing more of what ophthalmology had to offer. And so she suggested that maybe I complete a research project to get to know the field a bit better. But I had this idea of possibly introducing, an online curriculum for students to explore the field at a time when, they otherwise couldn't. And so that's when the idea of iCurriculum came about, and Dr. Albrecht was super excited to work on it with me and to have me come up with the idea from start to finish. And once she approved of the idea, I quickly realized that I was going to need help. It was a big idea. I had a lot of different sub projects that I wanted to work on within this big field of iCurriculum. And so I recruited a team. Danielle was the first member of the team that I recruited, and I'm so happy that we were able to build it to what it is today. And through iCurriculum, not only was I able to learn about ophthalmology, but through iCurriculum, I was also able to create Seeing Clearly, meet other ophthalmologists, continue to be inspired by ophthalmologists. And then it kind of all spiraled. I was able to do some more electives. I was fortunate enough to get a research position with Dr. Khan at McMaster University during my summer between my second and third year of medical school as well. And so all of these small initiatives that kind of stemmed from that one encounter with Dr. Albrecki at the Dr. Mom event spiraled into my passion for ophthalmology today. I think just going back a little bit, Danielle had mentioned that, I did my undergrad degree in bioinformatics. And so once I got to know the field of ophthalmology a little bit better and see how well it integrated with technology and see the relationship that you were able to build with your patients in clinic, but also in the OR, I was even more fascinated by the field. And so it was really the people that I met, and then in addition to how well it tied in with my interests outside of medicine, that really attracted me to ophthalmology. And then I was able to do my electives, met some residents at the University of Ottawa that really were instrumental in me getting to where I am today, and guiding me to where I am. And so I think, sorry, a little bit rambly, but all of that together was kind of what led me to where I am and to my journey now. And I hope to only continue to work with those types of people and to hopefully inspire more people to come into the field through this question that we keep asking on the podcast, and then also through initiatives like iCurriculum.
Yeah, and that's like incredible. I know I tend to respond this when we have guests on the podcast, but it really is crazy that these small incidental situations can lead someone to their future career and to some of the people and the support system that they have for the rest of their life. And, from just meeting Dr. Albrecki this one time to what we've really built and grown with her has been really excellent and incredible. And just on that note, so you obviously mentioned about iCurriculum. So can you just talk about now, it's been 3 years since we had gone up through and developed iCurriculum, talk about the development and how it's grown and what it's become to what it is today.
Yeah, so I mean, like I mentioned, iCurriculum was just an idea I had at a time when I couldn't explore the field of ophthalmology, and it's grown into a huge platform now, something that I could have never imagined it would be. And honestly, it's all thanks to the people that have helped me grow it. I mean, Danielle has joined me really early on in order to have grown this platform. We created the website together, and then subsequently created what's now known as the iCurriculum Ambassador Program. And that's really what got iCurriculum up and running, is to have this support group of medical students and residents and physicians that are all working together to grow the platform. So now we currently have a group of medical students, residents, and physicians on various teams. So we have 4 main teams, part of iCurriculum. We have the virtual clinic team, which works to create online cases for students to go through when they're outside of the clinic to brush up on their skills. We have the research team, which works on a blog that we have and on publishing up-to-date research in the field of ophthalmology, so individuals can stay up to date. We also have an Ophtho on the Go team, which works on creating diagnostic flow charts so that when you're in clinic, you have a quick reference guide to kind of attack, a red eye or a painful eye, swollen eye, whatever it may be. And then more recently, we have that team that's creating Anki decks as well, so students can continue to brush up on their ophthalmology skills outside of the clinic. And then lastly, we also have an outreach team. And so they've been working quite hard to start up some case series where we have residents as well as staff physicians presenting cases on, like common ophthalmic cases in the emergency room, or introduction to the retina, or introduction to glaucoma. And then all of these students help us to create our social media presence, which we have on iCurriculum. So we have an Instagram page and a Twitter page now that we've been running for the past 3 years. And it allows students to either have quick reference guides to common cases or to have access to quick trivia. And so we're really proud of all of these initiatives. And it really started out from just myself and Dr. Albrecki chatting in clinic to then, writing a guide on paper of what I kind of envisioned, and then getting the team together. And now we have, a website that's accessed by users all around the world. We have this podcast now that we've been running for the past 3 years. It's crazy that this is the 30th episode of the podcast. And so it's grown quite exponentially in the past 3 years, honestly. And I really could have not imagined it to turn out this way, but I'm so proud of all of the work that we've done. And so humbled to have such an incredible group of people working with me on this project. Honestly, I couldn't have done it without everyone else. So that's a little bit about iCurriculum, and we have lots more that we're hoping to do and to achieve. And so stay tuned for all of that. Our ambassadors are amazing, and they keep working on incredible ideas every day.
100%. And I completely echo all those sentiments. It just is a testament to show that if you have an idea, it is possible. And, it might not be possible alone, but it's always important to get support from colleagues and friends and faculty, and you can really build something from that. And iCurriculum is just a true demonstration of all of this. And we're very proud of what we have. We noticed that when we're looking through our statistics, our podcast episodes, we have over 10,000 listens, and our website has over 5,000 unique visitors. And, these are international. These aren't just in Canada. And so we're very thankful for that. And truly, if any of our listeners have any ideas ever, you can reach out to us, through our email or through social media. And we love to hear new ideas as well. So thank you. And now we're going to switch bases a little bit, because Emaan obviously started off this while being a medical student, and now she's a resident. So Emaan, will you talk to our guests a little bit about how you've been finding the transition from medical school to residency?
Yeah, of course. And obviously my opinion might be a little bit biased, given that I'm at the University of Ottawa. And so every PGY1 experience is a little bit different across the country. But I personally was fortunate enough to have had 2 blocks of ophthalmology at the beginning of my residency. And so that was incredible, in order to get to know the staff and also my co-residents and senior residents in my program, as well as just to get, my hands wet and at least immersed into the field of ophthalmology right away. As a PGY1, you also tend to do a lot of off-service rotation. So having those 2 blocks at the beginning really made me feel like I was actually an ophthalmology resident, which was amazing. It was also really nice to kind of transition from being a medical student, where you're proposing plans and trying to come up with your plans, versus now as a resident, I'm proposing the plans, but then sometimes able to actually implement those plans or follow up on the diagnostic tests that I'm ordering. And so it's been a really incredible transition. And I think that's due mostly to the support that I have in the program, because of my senior residents that are always there to help, or my co-residents that are always with me in clinic when I have a question to run by them. Now I'm on my off-service rotations. And similarly, I think that it's been an incredible experience just because of the people that I've been with. I've rotated on subspecialties like endocrinology, ENT, internal medicine, and I'm on emergency medicine. And all of the rotations, I found that the staff are very receptive to understanding that I'm there to learn as an off-service rotation. I'm there to not only learn the skills that they have, but also what's relevant for myself as a future ophthalmologist. And so I found that just talking to them about my goals for the day or my goals for the week has been really valuable in ensuring that I'm learning what I want to learn as an off-service resident. But overall, I've had an incredible time, honestly, transitioning from medical school to residency. It's been a really great experience just because of the people I've had around and the support. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the year and going back to ophthalmology, and then at the end of the year to Toric with all of the other residents across the country. That's something that I'm really, really excited for.
Yeah, and that's amazing. It's really nice to, start off in your specialty, get exposed. I know you were had gone to Ottawa originally, but, all the residents that came in, your co-residents, as you had mentioned, get comfortable with the ophthalmology department, take some skills from the off-service rotation and then return back to ophthalmology. So that's awesome. And finally, let's end off with, do you have any advice for any medical students starting their journey, whether in ophthalmology or not ophthalmology?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm very early on to be giving advice, and so take everything with a grain of salt. But I think for me, advice that I was given throughout my journey, and advice that I continue to take and continue to reflect on, is just to do things that you're passionate about and that you're interested in, because I think that takes you a long way. For me personally, Like the idea of creating iCurriculum, for example, I only came up with that idea because it was something that I was genuinely interested in. It was something that I thought I could merge my interests, so my interest in technology as well as my interest in medicine. It was with a mentor that I really connected with on not only like an academic level, but a personal level. And then it was with a team that I really enjoyed working with. And so when you're doing things that I think not only you're interested in, but you enjoy, it just makes the whole process that much better. And it makes the work that you're doing that much better as well. I find that when I'm passionate about something, it makes the work that I'm creating 10 times better. And so I think that would be my number one advice, is to continue to do things that you're interested in, and that you're passionate about, but also to be open-minded. So like I mentioned, that elective with Dr. Albrecki was right before the COVID pandemic. And then when restrictions didn't allow me to complete another elective, I had two choices. I could have either, given up on exploring ophthalmology, which was super easy because there wasn't a lot of opportunity to explore the field, or I could come up with something outside of the box and use my imagination to continue to explore the field in a unique way, which is the avenue that I took. And so I think that just pushing yourself to think outside of the box, to think about alternative answers when you're encountered with a problem, is really something that mentors have encouraged me to do. And one mentor in particular has left me with the piece of advice: fail fast, fail forward. And I think that is a piece of advice that I take with me every day, and apply to my daily life, whether it's medicine or not. And so I would give that advice to anyone else that's also listening. Definitely not something I came up with. My mentor did, but it's a fantastic piece of advice, and I use it every day. So hope it helps someone else.
100%. And, I can say even today in clinic, a staff was asking me a question and I didn't know the answer. And, you can't be down on yourself for not knowing the answer. You learn the answer and then you take that with you forward. And, that's a true representation of what you have said. And about every initiative we've had, bumps in our road to iCurriculum and all of that. And ultimately we can see this end product now, but that was only because we had these bumps in the road and we learned from them and grew. So thank you for that incredible advice. And we'll now finish off with our would you rather question. And this one's just to you and I get to ask it, which is very exciting. But my question to you is, would you rather work an extra hour each day, but you get an hour break in the daytime? Or would you rather have no breaks and then get to leave an hour early from work?
It's a tough question. I think I really enjoy my lunch break, but if I could have my day be shorter and I could get out earlier and go to the gym or go play squash, I would definitely rather do that, or even just relax and sit on the couch and watch TV. I would rather my day end earlier. But I do think a lunch break is really important, and it's important to eat. Otherwise, I get a little hangry and I can't focus. So both are important, but I would definitely prefer to be active at the end of the day.
Totally. And honestly, that's a good piece of advice for anyone going through clerkship or rotations in general. Don't forget to eat, or take the few minutes to eat. It's definitely valuable in the long run, even if you think that you're not hungry.
I always keep a granola bar in my pocket just in case I need it. It's you always find that you're eating it a lot earlier in the day than you anticipate. So,
exactly.
Or at least I do.
Exactly. So that wraps up our episode. And I'd like to thank Emaan for being our wonderful guest on this episode. And I'd like to thank you all for listening to this episode of Seeing Clearly, and also the past 30 episodes of Seeing Clearly. We really couldn't have got this far without all our amazing listeners and subscribers. So thank you. Reminder that you can stay caught up with all things iCurriculum and visit our website at www.icurriculum.com and follow us on Instagram at iCurriculum. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone, for listening.